we have not one but two speakers for our last speaker, Rob Phillips and Jay Korreck. Rob is a teacher at Leesville High School, and Jay is a instructional coach. Did I get that right? Something I didn't know existed. But they are going to be talking to you about a film that they are working on, have been working on for the last 2 years, in a documentary film. And so they're going to tell you to keep calm and mind the gap.
I'll take that one. I'm going to block the screen. I'm like a wardrobe.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Jay Korreck again.
And I'm Rob Phillips, and actually I'm going to go ahead and...
Good choice.
This journey for us actually began to some degree in a bar talking about film. And we're starting with a pretty iconic shot here that's one that we have, I guess, marinated on in the past. So I am, as already been stated, I'm a teacher and I mind the gap, and you just are witnessing a gap. Jay?
Sure. So the image that you saw before this was from 2001: A Space Odyssey, as is this image of a spaceship. And when we try to tell a story or communicate anything, whether it's in film or writing, we do so through juxtaposition. And what you see between these two shots is a juxtaposition that leads to what, Rob?
Well, it's probably one of the most famous form cuts in all of film history. And basically you're seeing a commentary on technology and how it is ultimately a murderous thing. It kind of fits with previous speakers, so at least in my estimation. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Here you see another iconic image from a film called Dead Poets Society about an excellent teacher. This is an image of what it means to be an excellent teacher. You stand on desks.
And to be honest, this kind of excellent teacher is the thing that got me doing my research, because that sort of teacher is oftentimes the counterpoint to this sort of teacher. And we feel like this is a dangerous dichotomy, and it's a mythology that we're seeking, at least in our film, Teacher of the Year, to try to demystify and debunk. And so what happens when you have that juxtaposition is you're led to a sort of third meaning.
Sure. So in any kind of juxtaposition, shot A versus shot B, a third meaning is created in the mind of the audience. So when you look at a good teacher versus a bad teacher, what happens is neither one is sustainable. Neither one is reality. And what we need to come to is a reality.
And so here's our reality. This is Angie Scioli. Wave, Angie, say hi. She's here, yeah. So Angie Scioli is an excellent teacher that we've been following in our film for the past almost 2 years. And this is from the first day where the bolt of lightning struck me, where she said that teaching is in fact performance. And it's something that actors do.
Sure. And as we continue to follow Angie through the course of the year, we got more and more intimate with her, and we got to see behind the scenes. This is actually a shot that we took at about, 4 in the morning, Angie? As she, what was it? Yeah, about 4? Yeah. So as she's getting ready to prepare for the next day of work.
So the question then becomes, when you see those two types of images juxtaposed or placed side by side, it forces you to create a third meaning. So obviously there's the notion of performance, and then there's what's behind the scenes that leads to the performance. That's where we come in as filmmakers. We want to show you what goes on behind the scenes and what teachers really do.
So here's another image from Hollywood media that shows a good teacher. And in this scene, Hilary Swank in Freedom Writers is preparing for her first day of teaching, and she's preparing herself with a very lovely outfit and some pearls, and she's ready to take on the inner city.
But what happens when you juxtapose that shot with this one? Here's the reality of the beginning days of school, and Angie will speak to you that this was a warm day. We have some iPhone footage here where she's showing us some of what teachers really do. They clean their bathroom trailers because, well, they can get funky. Very funky. And so obviously that's the revelation that we want to provide. So Jay, you want to speak about this juxtaposition?
Sure. So again, here's the two shots juxtaposed one against the other. And as you can see in the shot A with Hilary Swank, we've got a nicely composed image from a fancy high-dollar camera. And in the documentary footage, this is Angie filming herself with her iPhone.
And again, the same kind of thing that we were just talking about in terms of a third meaning. Obviously, this is a silent image. It's not a moving image, it's a silent image. And Angie here is silent, but that doesn't last for long. Because in our film, we also document the reaction to the North Carolina General Assembly's recent legislation.
So as Angie progressed in the school year, we saw her go from teacher, and in many cases, teachers don't have a voice in this discussion about what it means to be a good teacher. So Angie has sort of taken that mantle and given voice to teachers.
So because we're gap minders, I'm a teacher, I'm also a filmmaker, we're gap minders, we want to obviously place you as viewers in the cut. Obviously, we're going to supply some meaning tonight, but what's in the cut in that shot? Obviously, silence is no longer an option. We have to take action, and we want our film to be part of that dialogue, and hopefully it will be.
Sure, and so as we went from sort of high concept, we started with Kubrick in this presentation, and when we started the film, we talked about the juxtaposition of good teachers versus bad teachers, but as we progressed, we sought to tell a very personal story. And this is Angie working again about maybe 4:30 a.m.
And as one of our earlier speakers talked about with women in pioneers in dresses, we definitely have a pioneer. She's not wearing a dress or a skirt in this particular instance, but she certainly is someone who is dealing with a work-life balance. And this is part of the story that got revealed to us, and we're deeply moved by that struggle to find balance, and I guess in terms of the human condition. So this is our logo for our film that we designed, and hopefully by now you kind of recognize the silhouette that is Angie. And we chose this image because we wanted to bring together two things, this sort of idea of teaching performance, but also make it very personal to Angie. And in making it obviously personal, we sort of exploring that work-life concept of in regard to balance. And with that particular logo, we're kind of exploring to some degree what it means for someone to constantly be on demand. You can press play anytime. What's the sort of takeaway from that? And our film, I hope, will give the truth of that reality of what teachers really do behind the scenes. So,
shameless plug for the film.
Shameless plug, yeah. Thanks so much.